I remember during COVID, and this is when it really hit me. I knew we got a lot from China. I try personally, as someone who grew up in the steel heydays of the 70s and 80s, it was always buy American, and it's sort of ingrained in my brain. But I remember in May of 2020, it was the first time President Trump came out after we lifted the 2 weeks for the, what was the saying? 2 weeks
The
to
ban that
spread.
stop the
Stop the spread. Yeah,
Well,
stop
it
the
wasn't
spread.
2 weeks, it was 2 months.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, he was doing an event in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania. And when it was one of the very rare places in our country that made protective gear for your face, for your hands, and sort of all kinds of things that were needed in the supply chain to keep people that were vulnerable protected. And first of all, I was stunned there was only one place in the country that did it. Second of all, it really crystallized for me that we need to get back to doing that in our country. And it's important, not just because it's patriotic and it makes you feel good and you want to sing a Bruce Springsteen song, but also because we had like some serious supply chain stories, right? From baby formula to diapers to eggs to toilet paper, everything is outsourced. And that was a result of all kinds of tariffs and trade deals back in the 70s. And he's always been about this correction, about making things here again. That's my long way of saying I think he would be encouraging about finding it here. I mean, there's always going to be a disparity of stories. Where I live and what I cover, people are very happy about the tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to a rancher in Kansas. They will tell you we needed a level playing field.
Amen.
It hurt a little bit right now, but 5 years from now, which is how ranchers and farmers think, they don't think about tomorrow. They think about 5 years from now. That's how their brains are always working. Same with the energy and manufacturing industries. So they're willing to take a personal haircut if we're in the longer run, their future, well, how they build their inventory or their cows. That is where the difference is in terms of, how people, where I am, it's where everybody makes things, right? Or wants to make things. And there's a lot more importing that when you run a business in a large city.
Megan, I'll give you an example. I had lunch the other day with a governor, and we were talking about COVID and the tariffs. And he said, Ben, do you want to know how close we were to total anarchy in this country? He said, we were negotiating for personal protective gear, right? For first responders, hospital workers, people in retirement facilities. And we had basically secured and paid a premium for gloves and gowns and basic things from China. It was being flown over. The Chinese, literally, once the plane was in the air, were still selling the goods on that plane. And as it's coming across, they're watching it on flight tracker because that's how insecure they were. The plane was going to land. They'd already sent the deposit money. This was, in a normal world, a done deal. You had a contract. And they watched the plane divert on the flight tracker and start heading to Canada. They then basically talked to their buyer, the in-between guy, and he's like, oh, they offered us, 7x more than you guys, so we'll send you your money back. We don't care. You can basically sue us. There's no recourse. They were so desperate, they then offered more money. So the governor said then they watched the plane on the flight tracker head back towards the America. Then when it got close, it turned around and went back to Canada because they offered more yet again. And they're like, this is how close we were to teetering to anarchy because we made nothing here. And that's the warning I think that Trump has about China is you can't depend on them. They will screw you every time they get a chance to do it. They'd steal everything from us and they don't care about their own people. Why do you think they'd care about us?
Look, I personally own a China is asshole t-shirt for people that need that reference. It's a protester from Hong Kong who was interviewed. And someone was saying something nice about China. He said, no, China is asshole. He's a wonderful man. I really hope that man's not in prison, but whatever.